oceans apart, day after day. You know that song?
It sounded like Full House.
It does sound like that. Yeah.
Whatever you do.
Who is that?
I will be
right here waiting for you.
That sounds wonderful.
What's up? It's the Jubal Show. Do you like the new intro, guys?
So special.
No? I found this keyboard, and I have no idea how to play the piano at all, but I figured I would try to start off the show today with a little riff.
You can't play one song on it?
No, you want to know something? The only song that I ever almost could play on it is a really embarrassing story. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
It's the Jubal Show podcast. Thank you for checking it out every single Monday or Wednesday, iTunes, YouTube. Make sure to comment, rate, review, subscribe. Don't forget about the Fresh to Death podcast every single Monday. iTunes, YouTube, rate, review, comment, subscribe, and the Fresh to Death podcast where Alex and I get high and do stuff. That's on Tuesdays on YouTube. Only on YouTube. It's a YouTube exclusive. Alex, my hot wife, Alex Fresh is here.
Hello.
As always, the whole crew. Manny Martin is here, and John Slaton. And yeah, I'll tell you the story real quick before we get into everything today. What we're going to talk about on the show today is the fact that Dog the Bounty Hunter is getting married after his wife has only been dead for 10 months. But there's more to the story. Then we have Alex's hashtag story time, where she throws out something that could be a hashtag, and we tell stories from our personal lives about it. And then of course John Slaton's hot celebrity gossip thingy that we don't have a name for yet. That was super late. I thought it was gonna be a good strum on it.
He was like waiting to get done talking just to do that. He was like, I don't even fucking care what I'm saying right now.
I didn't care at all. Maybe if I change this keyboard to piano. This is a grand piano. John Slaton's hot celebrity gossip thingy that we don't have a name for yet. A little better. All right, so before we get into all the stuff we're gonna do on the podcast today, the only thing I ever knew how to play on the piano was I think I was like 13 or 14, and there was this chick I had a crush on, and I was at a summer camp, right? And I was trying to be romantic, and so this one dude who knew how to play piano taught me how to play the song. There's that song by what was the guy's name? The Oceans Apart, day after day. You know that song?
It sounded like Full House.
It does sound like that. Michael, do you know what song I'm talking about, John?
No, I was singing the Full House song.
I will be right here waiting for you.
Oh. Yeah. I remember that.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
Who is that?
I will be
Right here waiting for you.
Richard
Day
Marx.
after day. Yeah, Richard Marx. That was what it's called. And I think it was in.
I was gonna say Eric Clapton.
It sounds like
that's
Eric Clapton. Yeah. It was Richard Marx, and I think the song is called "Right Here Waiting" or something like that.
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
here
I think I know.
waiting for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, it was. I think it was one of the songs that was in the Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay.
He made a song for. I don't know. Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner had a very romantic song in it. I think it was Richard Marx who did that, but he also did this song that I'm talking about.
Okay, so can you play that?
No.
Oh.
It's embarrassing because I worked with this dude, right, to teach me the song. He taught me the whole song. I knew the whole song, how to play it on the piano.
Wow.
I can never sing, so I didn't know. It's not like I could sing it well, but I mean, you're 13 years old. You got another 13-year-old dude that learned how to play a song on the piano, looking at you like oceans apart, day after day. You're gonna get horny.
That would be creepy.
It probably would be creepy, especially for the fact that I learned how to play it all, but when it came game time, right, and I got her alone with the piano, I could only remember the first couple chords.
God.
So it started off as like ding 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 ding, fuck, ding, ding, and I tried like 4 or 5 times. So it's like I would start off
Because
with
you
how.
clammed up.
Yeah, I climbed
Oh
up.
my
I started off. I didn't even get to the singing part. It was just because it starts off with I was like ding, ding, ding. I couldn't remember, and I was like, hold on, let me restart it. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on, let me restart. Ding, ding. And I was like, so it had to be one. It was super embarrassing. It had to be one of those things where like, what I was gonna do was play this whole song for you because I memorized it, but I could not remember how to do it.
I could play Mary Had a Little Lamb and Jingle Bells.
Really?
Yes.
Prove it.
Yeah.
Was that-
Ah, killing
Yeah.
that shit.
Was that Richard Marx?
No, it was not. And then,
All right, and Jingle Bells?
wait.
A little flat. Wow.
Wow.
Taught myself that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was
Hey,
nice.
well, Alex definitely has more skills on the
That's about all the skills I have.
keyboard than I do. All right, let's get into everything then. Enough about my embarrassing past trying to woo girls when I was a young boy. Dog the Bounty Hunter. And I hope this isn't in your celebrity gossip thingy that we don't have a name for yet, John. Are you talking about John in your gossip?
No, it's not. I considered it, but that's not part of it today.
Okay.
No.
Because I know you're always out there beating the street with your ear to the pulse of Hollywood or
Yep.
whatever it is. So I didn't want to trump your gossip. But yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter is getting married 10 months after his wife passed away.
Beth only passed away in June of last year.
Right. And
Wow.
also this is the second person that he's been engaged to since
First
she
one
died.
was like a family friend that was at their first wedding.
Yeah.
Like either
Yeah.
in their first wedding.
It was
in
a
Beth
good-
and Dog's
It was one of her friends. It was like one of her best friends was the first person that he tried to marry after she died, and then now he's engaged again.
again, yeah.
Damn. Wait, let me ask you this. So, Alex, if you died,
Yeah.
how long would Jubal have to wait? And Jubal, if you died, how long would Alex have to wait?
I don't know. He could date whenever he wanted to.
You wouldn't be like up in, well, I don't believe in heaven, but you wouldn't be wherever dead people go, and be offended if I started dating somebody right away, or if I asked one of your friends to marry me,
I
and
probably
then
would just fuck up your date somehow.
and just haunt my dates.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't care. I think like I'm sure if I were alive, I'd care. But if I was dead, I don't know. I'm dead, so it doesn't matter. Go do whatever you do.
I'd probably go out and be a hoe pretty quickly.
Yeah. Why not?
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was only a hoe for like 3 months of my life, and that was it. I gave it up.
Yeah.
I gave up that life.
You gave up the whole life.
Yeah,
After-
before I met you.
Yeah.
So
Well,
my
if
hoe
I
days are over.
if I die, you have my full approval to go out and be a hoe as much as you want.
It's not fun though. That's
I'll just
why-
be a ghost watching and jerking off in the corner. What about you, Manny? If you died, if you kicked the bucket, how long would you want her to wait before she started humping the bucket?
I feel like 3 months. I mean, one summer time length is good. You know what I mean? To get in. You know, it's
One
like
summertime.
I don't want her to be lonely, but at the same time, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want you to have to wait a year. That shit seems a little ridiculous to be lonely. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it depends on the person, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the circumstances.
It's really weird if people are like, I don't ever want them to ever date again. It's like,
Yeah.
if you're dead, it's one thing. If you break up, I mean, I'm sure, some people break up and are like, I hope they never find anybody. But if you're dead, it's not like you guys broke up and then they're just, but I think I would want you to start dating pretty quickly or as quickly as you felt comfortable. I wouldn't want you to sit around and, cry
Yeah.
every night wanting this dick when it's dead.
I know. Manny,
Dead dick.
Like when this thing doesn't work anymore, it's 6 feet underground. Quit wishing for it to come back, baby. You better go out and find your own dude.
don't you worry, I will, baby. Manny.
Manny or John, what do you?
Wait, hold on,
what-
hold on. Manny, how long would
Yeah.
you wait before you went and got some pussy?
Probably like a week. You know what I mean? Just out of respect.
Yeah.
Just out of respect.
Sounds about right.
John, if you were married again, and
For the third time.
yeah, and you were to die, how long would you want your spouse to wait before she?
I don't know. Did she kill me? Because if she killed me, then probably I'd want her to wait a while.
If she killed you, she's probably already getting laid by somebody else, and that's why she killed you.
I don't know. I think if I truly loved someone, I think I'd want them to be happy, and maybe a reasonable period of mourning for a couple months, and then go get you some.
Yeah.
Get that dick.
And
Go get that dick.
Pound Town, USA.
you'd haunt them and just wake them up in the morning and be like, go get that dick. Go for it.
She like flings up in bed.
What was that? That's right. I said it's fine. Go get laid. It's fine.
I heard him. He said I can go get that dick.
I mean, 10 months after though, and you've been basically engaged twice. That's a little strange.
Yeah.
To me. I'm all for if like your partner passes away, it's going to be very sad. Mourn them and then try to be happy, because I guarantee you your partner would want you to be happy.
How long were they together though?
They were together for a super
long time.
And it seemed like they were so tight and like so awesome together.
Yeah.
And it seemed like it would take Dog a long time to get over her, but nope.
Not at all.
Dog proved me the goddamn wrong.
Yeah. He's just like, I have to. And it's like not even just like he's dating it. If you were dating it, that's fine. He's like wanting to get married right away.
Which is weird when I saw that interview and he said that we agreed though that I just wouldn't get remarried. I can date and blah, blah, blah. I'm just not going to get remarried. We agreed on that. And then he gets engaged twice within 10 months. It's just so weird to me.
Yeah.
That's
Because
strange.
that interview was like not too long after she died.
Yeah, maybe they didn't have as great of a relationship as everybody thought they had, or they
Or
pretended to have.
maybe they did, but maybe Dog can't be alone.
Yeah.
Maybe Dog
We all know some
is
people
a
like
dog.
that. How much is he worth though?
Dog.
Okay.
Is the real question.
I don't know.
Are you
Because
Googling that?
yeah, so $6 million. I mean, I think I could hook up
He's
with
only
somebody
worth $6 million?
that wasn't the most beautiful person if they
That's
had
nuts.
$6 million. That's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
if he had
not
$1
bad.
million,
Yeah, that is.
you would do gay porn with them for $1 million, right? That was the amount.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I would do gay porn with him for $1 million.
He's only worth. I'm surprised he's only worth $6 million.
Yeah, that's really
I thought he would
surprising.
be worth a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe he spends a lot of money.
Yeah, maybe he does. Maybe he spends a lot of money, or maybe he wasn't getting paid that much for the TV show.
Yeah.
Is the TV show still on the air even?
They took him off after he said the N-word. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
kinda-
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
don't
He
remember
did.
hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I
It
forgot
was
about
like
that.
a phone call that was recorded, or somebody recorded. He was
Yeah.
talking, and didn't he like said it like 17 times or something, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He was saying something like, he's like, oh, I thought it was okay to say the N-word because I thought I was black like the rest of them. Shit was crazy, man.
Like,
It was hilarious.
What?
No, Dog.
What's he
You're
talking
white.
about?
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
You're just tan.
Yeah. The only people who can say that aren't like black are the ones that are given a pass from their friends. Who are
Right.
like, it's cool if he says, but even if you're that guy, because I've been that guy in my life, you still don't really say it that much. Because you're just like, you still don't really want to say it. You're like, I mean, I know you guys said it's cool and you gave me a pass, but also I feel like I just don't even want to say that. You know what I mean? But
Exactly.
it's like, I wouldn't, if I think anybody is going to say the N-word, it's going to be somebody that looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like people were shocked when Joe Exotic, when they said, I'm like, who wouldn't think Joe Exotic said that? I mean, he looks like exactly who would say that. All right, well, anyway, congratulations to Dog the Bounty Hunter and his wife, fiance, his wife to be, and his probably next wife to be, and then his next wife to be after that. All right, well, enough of that. Let's get on to a hashtag story time with Alex. So, what is what's the hashtag today?
Today we're going to talk about like our craziest or scariest plane ride or story.
Okay.
Manny, we'll have you go first.
Well, I've actually got a couple. So, first off, the most recent one was when we went to Boise. And, anytime I see a plane where you can actually just see propellers on the shit, I don't feel safe,
yeah.
right?
No.
And
I hate those.
Yeah, and I think the worst part about it was that when we were coming in for the landing, I felt like we were just swerving back and forth, and me and Alex are already terrified of flying, so we're just looking back and forth at each other like, this is it, we're fucking gonna die, this is it. And then we fucking touched down, but that shit was ridiculously scary.
It was.
The second one that I'll say is, it was probably back early 2000s. I was flying home from California to Washington, and it was foggy. We go in for the landing, and you can feel the tires touch down, and then the guy pulls back up and takes off to Spokane to get another pilot to land the plane. And I was like, fuck,
What?
we probably almost just died.
Wow.
Insane.
Damn.
That's scary.
But
Very scary.
Anytime they're about
Yeah.
to land and then they don't land
dude,
and pull back up, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's like,
the worst.
yeah.
even if you're someone who's not that scared of flying, like I used to be scared of flying, but even if you're not someone who really is like not that terrified of it, right then you're like, fuck it, we're dead.
Yeah.
We're all
Totally.
gonna die right now.
Yeah. But I would say the worst of all is when you fly in Europe for some reason. People seem to clap a lot when you land like it's not normal. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo.
Whenever anybody claps when you land, I've never understood that. But yeah, I know what you mean because I've flown in Europe and stuff too, and like there's a lot of people that clap, and it's like, does this not happen very often? Are you guys not landing planes that much here? Because
Usually it's like after like a really bad turbulency flight or something, and it's landed, and then, but weird.
Yeah, I was in literally Morocco, and you can just like it's first off, it smelled like the back of the plane was burning, and I looked over at this Muslim family right next to me, and they looked at the stewardess and were like, "Is that normal? That smell?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's normal." And we looked at the stewardess and was like, "I don't know if that's normal," and she was like, "No, trust me, it's just burning off the fuel." And I was like, "Fuck this."
whenever you fly anywhere that's like an international flight, you always feel like it's way worse. Like you're like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. It could be from a country like like Sweden, which is a fucking great, like they're on the cutting edge of a lot of stuff, and just be like, they definitely have no clue because these pilots are all foreign, and they don't like the fucking the way the flight attendants are dressed all funky and weird. Like these guys have no fucking clue.
Hilarious.
It's really funny.
So
But
true.
everybody, it's all the same. They all have the same knowledge. It's
Yeah.
just funny how scared we get.
Well, what's your scariest or craziest plane ride story?
Mine, I've got a few. I think the worst plane ride though that I've ever been on was I was in Costa Rica with my buddy, and we were coming back from Costa Rica, and we had to drive 3 hours. Our flight was at like 2 in the morning or something, and we had to drive 3 hours from where we were staying to the airport. And so we had this taxi guy pick us up. We drove 3 hours in the middle of the night, exhausted. We get to the plane, and we're taking the plane back. And as soon as the plane starts taking off, this guy in the front row, or not front row, in the row in front of us, this guy in the row in front of us starts to puke.
Oh.
And like he's puking a lot, right? And then, so he's puking, and then I see it dribble down underneath the seat, in front of us. So it dribbles down, and then it gets on my friend's flip-flop a little bit, and I'm and I'm making fun of my friend. I'm like, you got fucking puke on your flip-flop. You idiot. You're stupid. That's disgusting. You got to sit here for fucking 6 hours and do her back home with puke on your flip-flop, you dumbass. Just like, how you just give your friend shit, right? And then he looks at me and he just points down, and he points at my bag, my computer bag, and my foot. And my computer bag is covered in puke, and my foot is covered in puke. I had flip-flops on. He got like a drip on him. I got everything on me. And in the middle of me talking shit to him, he's like, he literally just looked at me and pointed, and I was just like, oh my, I had to throw away my bag.
Yeah.
I had to throw, and I pretty much wanted to cut my foot off. And they didn't have anything really to clean it up with either, so they just gave me a bunch of bottles of vodka, and they were like, pour this all over the floor and all over the seat and all over your foot. So I was cleaning myself with vodka. So I had to sit there for 6 hours until we got back with just smelling like vodka
Oh.
and vomit,
I would've-
and not even my own
I
vomit.
would have pooped myself.
I smelled like vodka and vomit a lot, but it was my own vomit and vodka that I drank, not vodka that I used to clean up somebody else's vomit. It was disgusting. So that's probably the worst flight I've ever been on. It was terrible.
That's funny.
John, what's your hashtag worst? What is it? Worst flight?
Yeah, worst or scariest flight story.
Hashtag worst or scariest flight story.
Kind of a crazy story. I was like, I don't know, 18, 19. I was flying back to Seattle on a connecting flight in Vegas. Left Vegas, and then about halfway to Seattle, they're like, well, it's really foggy in Seattle. We may not be able to land. We may have to turn around. And then it's literally just circling Seattle for, I don't know, it seemed like, I don't know, it had to be like an hour or so, a long time, right? And at this point, everyone's wondering, do we have to turn around? Are we going to get to land? Well, they decided they were going to land at Boeing Field. They weren't even going to land at SeaTac. So, which was weird. I've never.
And if you're not from Seattle, Boeing feels like a.
It's not really designed for like commercial, planes to land.
No.
So, anyway, so finally they tell us we're going to land here, and it's like, well, great. At least we don't have to turn around. So, but I think everyone's getting a little irritable. We've been in the air for a while, not knowing if we're going to landing somewhere else. Oh, and then their plan was they were going to then bus us over to SeaTac Airport, right?
Oh, wow.
So
30-minute bus ride.
Yeah, exactly. So we get on the ground and we, touch down, and everyone, once you get on the ground, people are starting to get their things together. And I'm sitting in coach, but I'm like one or two aisles behind first class. And once everyone's kind of standing up, getting their stuff together, people kind of moved forward. And then now, like, there's some people that are kind of in first class, right? Kind of standing. Well, then it takes a while, right? There's a lot, we're waiting around for a while. So there was this one woman that, like, she's like, yeah, first class. She's like loving it. And then this one dude got all like offended and pissed off. He's like, you need to get the fuck back to coach, right? He's like,
Jesus.
Yeah, just like going crazy. And then it became this whole thing, and he's like, you've never seen first class. I always fly first class. And she's like, I know first class. I've been on first class. And then it like became like this yelling match with like people in first class against coach, and then the flight attendants are like started trying to intervene. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was, and I was just, I just kind of, I was just kind of walking forward with everyone, and then I just sat down when I realized we weren't getting off right away, and then this whole ordeal broke out. Like this fucking dude standing up in Dockers fucking freaking out because somebody was imposing on his first class.
Jesus.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That is.
I mean, he's wearing Dockers, so of course obviously. That guy's got the business casual market covered. But what an idiot. Why would you even yell back and forth about you've never been to first class before? Like, it's not even that big of a deal anymore.
Yeah.
Unless
that's
you're
weird.
unless you're on like an international flight and the first class tickets are, like $10,000 or something, then okay, you can brag about being in first class. But if you're on first class on like a normal
Alaska Airlines flight.
like on Alaska Airlines, American Airlines 2-hour flight.
Yeah.
It's not that impressive, You're not balling out of control.
upgraded.
You spent
Going
an
to
extra,
Billings.
you spent an extra $75 or $100 or you got upgraded for free.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
What about
Going
you,
to
Alex?
Billings, Montana.
Yeah.
My craziest plane story was back in like 2010. This happened 2 rows in front of me. So it was a guy and then a girl in the middle and a guy. And there was a couple, and then I don't think they knew who the guy was who was sitting next to them. Well, I think the guy started hitting on the girl or like saying stuff to the girl because her boyfriend was getting really mad, and like he started yelling at this guy, and it was just escalating. And then the stewardess came over, Flight attendant.
Yeah, stewardess. You sound like
I
a.
always say stewardess.
You sound like a 70-year-old white man.
Stewardess came over and was like, what's going on, you guys?
The hot-ass stewardess came over, and I was like, you shut your mouth before I pop you right in the face, and you get me some alcohol, and you probably give me a hand job, too. I'm in first class. I get free highballs and free jerk-offs.
By the stewardess. Okay.
Whatever it is.
So the flight attendant came over and was like trying to calm him down, but he was really pissed. The boyfriend. I don't know what was said, but he was going off. And then he said, "You better move this guy before I murder him."
Oh, shit.
And I was like, okay, what's going on? What the fuck is going on? You don't say that word on a flight.
Yeah.
So.
Especially after this is post 2000 or 2001 after 9/11.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck,
Right?
that's the last thing you say. So
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to say that.
Don't say that
post
on flight.
9/11.
So we were
you don't
almost-
say murder, kill, anything.
Bomb?
Yeah,
No,
bomb or-
yeah.
There's a hashtag Jubal Show pro tip.
Yeah, this is a Jubal Show pro tip. On a flight post 9/11, don't say murder, kill, bomb, Allah
explosion.
Akbar, anything that sounds Muslim.
Alejandro.
Just shut your goddamn trap hole
Abidi
and
Bade.
fly somewhere.
exactly. Fuck.
So we were almost to LA. It was dark, and I see the city out the window. So we land, and like when we get off the flight, there's police literally waiting right outside
Wow.
the plane for
Ooh.
him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Damn.
So they arrested him, they took him off?
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't know this about flights. I didn't realize how prevalent, like, sexual assault is on a lot of flights where, like, you know,
It
there's
is.
inappropriate touching type
Yeah.
Damn.
shit. Yeah.
It really is. Like, I had no idea either, but you hear stories all the time about how somebody, like a chick, most likely, because, like, look,
Yeah.
just be honest. Like, there's not a lot of dudes that are falling asleep on a plane and some chick next to them's, like, grabbing their dick while they're asleep.
Yeah,
It's just not going to happen, you
Yeah, I
know?
didn't know that.
That's on
But-
the Greyhound
but,
bus.
That big of a thing.
Yeah. But apparently it happens a lot,
Huh.
like, and which is scary. I mean, if you're a woman, you can't even be on a plane and not think that something creepy is gonna happen. You know, that's obviously it's just really scary. I was on this flight one time when I was a kid. I was probably like 16 because I used to fly a lot when I was a kid. I was probably like 16, and there was this woman, this older Asian lady asleep next to me. It doesn't really matter if she was Asian. That sounds racist to me, I guess, but whatever. Just to paint the picture. She was an old lady. But she had on a really short skirt, like really short skirt,
Yeah.
like really short
Yeah.
skirt. Which she was probably like 50. She was probably like 60ish. I'm like, you shouldn't have been wearing a skirt that short, right?
Yeah.
But she fell asleep and she was like all on me, and then her skirt like flipped up. You know how they do that? Those short
Oh.
skirts, they flip up. It flipped up, and then it was all the way up to her waist. Like it was just pantyhose. The underwear under the pantyhose because she's an old lady, and then like I don't know if they were stretch marks or what, but like it looked like scratch, like there were these bright reds like scratch marks on the inside of her legs, and she was asleep on my shoulder, and I was a 16-year-old boy, and that's how gross it was. It didn't even turn me on at all. I was 16-year-old, and I was just like, there's underwear and everything next to me, and I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, of course that's nasty.
Yeah, but you've never been a 16-year-old boy before. You get off to anything.
Yeah.
But I was on the flight and I was just hunched over and I was just like, "Ugh, somebody wake this lady up so she can put her skirt down." This is disgusting.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's the best.
Well, comment on the YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube, and let us know any crazy flight stories that you've had. If you had a crazy one, maybe we'll get you on the show sometime to talk about it if you had a really crazy one. All right, that was it for the hashtag crazy flight stories, hashtag story time with Alex. If you have any suggestions on something that you'd like us to talk about for hashtag story time, you can comment that too. But before we get out of here, before we end the podcast today, of course, we have to do the most important. I would say, it's the most sought after segment in entertainment today. It's
Agreed.
a segment that everybody loves, but it's also I think the most important segment ever. Important. Ever. You know?
In their history
You know,
ever.
pretentious people always say things are super important. This is super important.
Super.
And here we go.
He's got his finger on the pulse of Hollywood. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for John Slaton's Celebrity Gossip Roundup thingy. We still don't have a name for it.
All right.
All right, guys.
What do you got for us today, John? What's the hot celebrity gossip? What's the scoop?
Well, Nicolas Cage may be going into the role of his lifetime. He's working on a new limited series with CBS Studios. He's also going to be one of the executive producers, but he's set to play.
John, are you getting this information directly from your sources at CBS?
No, I've got multiple sources. I just.
Okay. So anyway, some of your sources have said that he's working with CBS on what?
Well, he's going to put together a limited TV series to play the role of Joe Exotic. So here's the thing. Through this whole quarantine pandemic time, nobody really is bigger than Joe Exotic, right? The Tiger King.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
and I think he helped us get through the early part of the quarantine. Because think about it. We were in, maybe a week or two in. People are getting a little stir crazy. Then Netflix releases Tiger King, and I felt like it helped get us through as a society, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Everybody rallied together around the Tiger King. Mm-hmm. That was a great week of quarantine.
That was a great week.
That was a fabulous week of quarantine.
Such a wonderful week of quarantine.
Also, where the fuck is Tiger King 2 or something else?
Yeah.
Because now we're in week 700.
And now we're bored.
Now we have been in quarantine for way too long, and there's no Tiger King left. So we need a new Tiger King. We need something else that we can all watch together as a society, basically. But there's nothing. There's no new Tiger King. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Nick Cage is going to put it together, and so there's yes.
Quick question for you. Do you know if they are going to be doing open casting for this? Because I'd like to recommend Jubal as one of Joe Exotic's husbands. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
You know?
Excuse me?
You don't think I would play a Joe
Just play the
Exotic
role.
husband? I could definitely play Joe Exotic's husband. Definitely. Okay, look. Here's how I could play the toothless dude. You know,
That's exactly who you would have to be.
that's who I would be.
That's who I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's definitely who I could play in that, and I'm a shoo-in. I would be so good at it.
A shoo-in.
Because, well, look, all right, he's got a lot of tattoos. They call them tattoos. They can clean my tattoos up and whatever, because that's Hollywood. They can do that. They can take away tattoos if they want.
Right.
But, I've already got tattoos and all that stuff. But if you remember in the Tiger King, whoever it was talking about his husbands and that guy with the no teeth and the tattoos, they called him muscly, right? He had these but he wasn't very muscly, pretty doughy. Like maybe at one time there was muscle there, but mostly it's dough right now. And that's me perfectly. Like,
Little dough boy.
like somebody would call me muscly and they'd be like, what? But they wouldn't be like, well, he's never been muscly. It's like, maybe at one point he was. I don't fucking know, but he looks like he sits around a lot.
Well, I think you're pretty muscly.
Well, I know. And Joe Exotic thought that guy was muscly. But I'm not muscly, and I do have tattoos, and I could lose some teeth for the role. I think it'd be great.
He got new teeth right at the end, so you can just black out your teeth and then just take the black off and be like, look guys, I have great teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Now, would I have to have actual sex with Nicolas Cage?
No, duh.
He might be a method actor. You don't know.
Well, if you do have to do that, make sure you get an STD test before. Because I don't want to get anything.
Yeah.
Joe was actually, he was asked kind of who he would prefer to play him, and he mentioned David Spade or Brad Pitt. It was kind of who he was hoping
geez.
for.
Of course
David
he
Spade.
would. Of course.
David Spade with Joe Dirt, remember?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's probably what he was thinking.
David Spade was basically Joe Exotic before Joe
Yeah.
Exotic. I think David Spade could do it. Here's the thing. So David Spade could do a good job playing Joe Exotic, except if David Spade was to do it, it would be obviously comedic.
Right.
I don't think Brad Pitt could do it because I think Brad Pitt's too good looking.
For
Yeah.
sure.
To be
He
Joe
wouldn't be
Exotic.
the right fit.
He wouldn't be the right fit. Nicolas Cage could definitely be Joe Exotic, and
Absolutely.
he would do a dramatic Joe Exotic,
He would
which would
do
be
good.
Yeah.
which would be way
Yeah.
better than the David Spade one. The David Spade one might be funny for a little while, but I would actually love to see a very dramatic actor doing Joe Exotic. I think that would be
Yeah,
great.
David Spade would do. Both of them would do a good job.
Both of them would do great. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah,
should
I
have
agree.
they should have the Joe Exotic comedy and the Joe Exotic drama. David Spade does the comedy. Nicolas Cage does the drama. But I think he would be a great fit for that. You know, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. So that'll be kind of exciting to see it come together. They're currently shopping for networks to pick it up right now, but I think it's
I would watch it.
gonna
I
get
would
made.
definitely
Yeah.
watch that.
Oh, yeah.
That might
Yeah.
actually help Nicolas Cage with all his tax trouble that he's had. Joe Exotic has actually helped a lot of people, and he has no idea because he's in prison. Other than that bitch down in Florida,
Yeah.
he's helped a lot of people because he gave us an entire week of something to do during quarantine, and then he may have helped Nicolas Cage get out of his financial trouble.
Yeah. And now he's going to be coming out with his own clothing line. So that's
Joe Exotic. Joe Exotic is.
Yeah. That's something new in the works right now. A clothing company has reached out to him to do. They're going to do like t-shirts, hoodies, joggers. There's going to be a picture of him with lions, of course. So that's something in the works. You know what he's doing? He's doing a lot more from prison than most people are doing in quarantine right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I find
he
it
is.
very
really is.
ironic, though, that he's always wanted to be famous, and now he's like the most famous in the world,
Right.
and he's in prison. He can't even enjoy
You
it.
can't even really.
Fame.
I mean, he's probably enjoying it in prison, though, don't you?
Yeah.
He's probably getting butt fucked by every single one of them.
Yeah.
Loving it. He's probably loving it. He is working on his pardon right now. He has a whole legal team together right now. He has a big van, and on the side of it says, "Trump, please pardon Joe Exotic," right? And then it's towing a trailer with a electronic billboard that says all kinds of stuff. So they're taking it to the White House. They're going to deliver his case file.
Wow.
Asking for a pardon. So,
Can you
Yeah,
imagine that? I mean, Joe Exotic just being like, oops, looks like I dropped the soap again, boys.
All right, before we wrap up, do you think that Joe Exotic gets pardoned? Do you think that he gets
No.
pardoned? You don't think so, babe?
No.
No, Manny, do you think Joe Exotic gets pardoned?
No, but I don't know if he'd even want to leave with all that attention he might be getting. So.
Right? He might
But
be.
he
He
could
might
get
be
a lot
liking
more
it more.
outside of.
Yeah,
But no,
that's
I don't
true.
think he is. He paid someone to have someone murdered, so he deserves to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. John, do you think? Well, John would be the one of us that would know because he's in the Hollywood scene. Like he's talking to
He
people
would know.
every day. He's probably been down in the. He probably somehow got into the prison. That's how good John is, and talked to people in the prison who are with Joe Exotic. I don't know. So John,
John's probably talked to
as-
Trump. He probably knows.
well,
Yeah, exactly. So John, as the person who actually knows, do you think that Joe Exotic will get pardoned, or do you think he's going to be in jail until he's out?
Well,
or until he's
one
dead?
of the things that kind of got me thinking is part of their defense that are working on for their pardon is the fact that, he publicly talked about wanting to kill this woman. Who does that and then really wants to kill them? That's kind of the defense angle they're going for. So I don't know. He probably won't, but good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You better have some good lawyers.
yeah.
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 I'm assuming he's probably going to be. But anyway, I hope that you're right, and I hope that Nicolas Cage. I know you're right because you're never wrong, John. Because
You're a celebrity gossip guy.
you got your fingers in the pulse of Hollywood. We know that. So I look forward to Nicolas Cage doing a Joe Exotic TV series. So that would be amazing, and it would give us something to watch because we're going to be in quarantine for who knows how much longer now. So, all right. Well, thank you for checking out the Jubal Show. It comes out every single Wednesday. iTunes, YouTube, rate, review, comment, and subscribe to it. Don't forget, by the way, if you come up with a good tagline for John's Celebrity Gossip, we still have the contest going on where John will go to wherever you're at, show up at your front door in his tidy whities. You can poke him in the stomach and then he'll leave. So if you got a good slogan for John's Gossip, make sure to put that in the comments. Jubal Show every single Wednesday, iTunes, YouTube, rate, review, comment, subscribe. Don't forget about the Fresh to Death podcast where Alex and I get high and do stuff that comes out every single Tuesday only on YouTube. And then the Fresh to Death podcast every single Monday, iTunes, YouTube, rate, review, comment, and subscribe to it.
Thank you.
Yes, and make sure to follow everybody on social media. I'm at Jubal Fresh on everything. Alex is at that Dreas.
That's me.
Manny Martin is at Manny Martin Jr. on everything. And John Slaton is at John L. Slaton. Other than that, we'll see you later. Hopefully, we'll be touring, doing stand-up comedy at some point.
For sure.
When we get out of the house. I don't
One
know.
day.
I miss doing stand-up. You guys miss doing
2021.
stand-up?
Oh,
So
dude,
much.
I miss doing stand-up, but I don't want to do any meet and greets. So
Yeah. You know what? As someone who's an introverted guy, meet and greets are always really hard for me anyway, because it's like it's
Yeah.
tough for
That's
me to like
funny.
sit and talk to people. But now it's opened up a whole new door. No meet and greets, because guess what? I don't want to get fucking coronavirus. But hopefully we can get out and tour again soon. Other than that, we'll see you later and have a great rest of the week.
Yep.
This has been the Jubal Show. Ta-ta for now.
Bye, guys.
I gotta figure out how to play this thing. Anyway. All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.